Count 2 of the indictment charges the defendants with committing specific crimes against peace by planning, preparing, initialing, and waging wars of aggression against a number of other states. It will be convenient to consider the question of the existence of a common plan and the question of aggressive war together, and to deal later in this judgment with the question of individual responsibility of the defendants. The charges in the indictment that the defendants planned and waged aggressive wars are charges of the utmost gravity. War is essentially an evil thing. Its consequences are not confined to the belligerent states alone, but affect the whole world. To initiate a war of aggression, therefore, is not only an international crime, it is the supreme international crime, differing only from other war crimes in that it contains within itself the accumulated evil of the whole. The first acts of aggression referred to the indictment are the seizure of Austria and Czechoslovakia, and the first war of aggression charged in the indictment of the war against Poland, begun on the 1st September 1939. Before examining that charge, it is necessary to look more closely at some of the events which preceded these acts of aggression. The war against Poland did not come suddenly, out of an otherwise clear sky. The evidence has made it plain that this war of aggression, as well as the seizure of Austria and Czechoslovakia, was premeditated and carefully prepared, and was not undertaken until the moment was thought opportune for it to be carried through as a definite part of the preordinated scheme and plan. For the aggressive designs of the Nazi government were not accidents arising out of the immediate political situation in Europe and the world. They were a deliberate and essential part of the Nazi foreign policy. From the beginning, the National Socialist movement claimed its object was to unite the German people in the consciousness of their mission and destiny, based on inherent qualities of race and under the guidance of the Führer. For its achievement, two things were deemed to be essential: the disruption of the European order as it had existed since the Treaty of Versailles, and the creation of a greater Germany beyond the frontiers of 1914. This necessarily involved the seizure of foreign territories. War was seen to be inevitable, or at the very least, highly probable, if these purposes were to be accomplished. The German people, therefore, with all their resources, were to be organized as a great political military army, schooled to obey without question any policy decreed by the state. Preparation for aggression. In Mein Kampf, Hitler had made his view quite plain. It must be remembered that Mein Kampf was no mere private diary in which the secret thoughts of Hitler were set down. Its contents were rather proclaimed from the housetops. It was used in the schools and universities, among the Hitler Youth, in the SS and SA, and among the German people, generally, even down to the presentation of an official copy to all newly married people. By the year 1945, over 6.5 million copies had been circulated. The general contents are well known. Over and over again, Hitler asserted his belief in the necessity of force as the means of solving international problems, as in the following quotation: "The soil on which we now live was not a gift bestowed by heaven on our forefathers. They had to conquer it by risking their lives. So also in the future, our people will not obtain territory and therewith the means of existence as a favor from any other people, but will have to win it by the power of a triumphant sword."